Did you know the College Board just released 270 new official practice questions to mirror the types, difficulty, and pacing of questions on the real SAT? And we have compiled a list of 5 of the most difficult math questions with step-by-step explanations for you to prosper on test day.
Yay!
We hope you find this video helpful, and let's freaking get that 1600. Alright, so our first question here is a circle question. It says the circle shown has its center at 0, 0. What is the value of k? So looking at the diagram, a good thing to remind ourselves of is the circle equation, and that is in the format x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared, where a, b is the coordinates for the center of the circle, which in this case is 0, 0, and that means a is equal to 0 and b is equal to 0. And r squared means radius squared. So we already know the center, and now we need to find r. So if the center is at the point of origin, and another point on the circle is 8, 0, that means the distance is 8. So that means our radius is 8. So going to Desmos, which is the built-in graphing calculator on the SAT, we can just graph our own circle that fits the requirements for this question. So typing in the original circle equation, which is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared, we can just fill in the constants with what we know. A is 0, b is 0, and r is equal to 8. So as we can see here, it graphs us a circle, and we're required to find k, which is the y value when x is equal to 2. So just type in x equals 2, and the point of intersection is at 7.74597. So that means our answer choices is not A, B, or C. We can just make sure that square root of 60 is equal to the y value that we got. It is exactly equal, except that Desmos rounds it up a little bit, but other than that, D is our right answer. For question 2, it says that the table shows the distribution of rooms in a certain facility by seating capacity. If a room in this facility is selected at random, which of the following is closest to the probability of selecting a room that has a seating capacity greater than 65 seats, given that the room has a seating capacity of at least 18 seats? So to solve this problem, you will need to use conditional probability. So this means you're finding the probability of an event happening, given that another condition is already true. So the formula for conditional probability is number of outcomes that meet both conditions divided by total number of outcomes that meet the given condition. So in this specific problem, this translates to rooms with more than 65 seats divided by total rooms with at least 18 seats. So to find the total number of rooms with at least 18 seats, we would need to do 21% plus 29% plus 24. And that is equal to 74%. 74 can be rewritten as 0.74 or 74 divided by 100. And now the rooms that have a seating capacity greater than 65, the proportion of it is 24%. 24% is equal to 0.24 or 24 over 100. So what we need to do is set up our fraction. So 0.24 divided by 0.74. And that gives us 0.32 or 32%. So our probability is 0.32, which is option B. Now this question says, for a linear relationship between x and y, the table gives 3 values of x and their corresponding values of y, where t is a constant. Which equation represents this relationship? So they didn't give us like a proper value for t. It doesn't say like is t positive, negative, nothing. But we can go ahead and just put a number for t. I would recommend going with a positive integer. I'm going to go with 3 here. And then I'm going to click on this plus icon and select the table. And here I'm going to type in the coordinates as given in the question. The question tells us it's a linear relationship. So let's go ahead and select this line with dots, and it already gives us linear regression, so we're good. And this is going to be the equation. And it graphs as a line as well. So we can go ahead and type in our answer choices one by one. So we can do negative 2x plus t plus 23, 2x plus t plus 23, negative 23 over 17x plus t plus 46, 23 by 17x plus t plus 46. We're looking for the one that matched up perfectly with the black line. And the black line is somewhere hidden because one of the lines matched up. So I'm gonna go ahead and clicking on this circle will hide the line for us. So as we can see here, the black line was hidden by the purple line. And if we go ahead and hide these, they are irrelevant because they don't match up with our equation. So as we can see here, option D is our right answer. A right square pyramid has a total surface area of 70,560 square inches. And the combined surface area of the four lateral faces of this pyramid is 38,160 square inches. What is the height in inches of this pyramid? Okay, so we know that the total surface area is 70,560. And that just basically means the sum of the areas of the triangular faces plus the area of the square. It then says that the combined surface area of the four lateral faces, or the triangular surfaces, is 38,160 square inches. So what we can do from these values is find the area of one triangular face. And we can do that by 38,160 divided by 4. And that is equal to 9,540. So another thing is that if we subtract 38,160 from 70,560, we're essentially going to get the area, the remaining area, or the area of the square, because that is the only one that is not included in the sum of 38,160. So when we do that, 70,560 minus 38,160, we get 32,400. So the area of the square is 32,400. We know that the area of a square is basically side squared. So finding the square root of 32,400 gives us 180 as the base and the length. So the question is essentially asking us for the height. And some of you guys might think, okay, the formula for the area of a triangle is half base times height. And so you must think that you just need to solve for this h. And that's wrong. And the reason why is because the h in the formula for the area of a triangle is actually the slant height. It's not the height that goes from the middle of the square to the top. So we're trying to find this and not this. Okay. So the base is the same as 180. So if we fill that in, 1/2 180 times h equals 9,540, and we solve for it, we get 106 as our height, as our slant height, but not the height that we're looking for in this question. So if our h is equal to 106, that means this is 106, and this, it's basically the half. It's basically half of our base. So 180 divided by 2 is 90. So it's 90. And using our Pythagoras theorem, we can solve for this. So 106 squared minus 90 squared is equal to 3,136. Square root of that is 56. And that's our right answer. And that's option A. The edge length in inches of cube y is 3 by 88 of the edge length in inches of cube x. The surface area in square inches of cube y is n times the surface area in square inches of cube x. what is the value of n? Okay, so what they're giving us is the similarity ratio for the edge length. And length is not squared or cubed, it's simply as it is. So it is equal to a. So that means 3 over 88, which is the similarity ratio of cube y to cube x, is equal to a. And we're trying to find the similarity ratio for the surface area from cube y to cube x. So surface area is basically area, and anytime there is area in the value that we're trying to find, we square it. So that's why the area ratio here in the similarity chart, it's a squared. So in order to do a squared, we have to do 3 by 88 squared. And that is 0.00116, and it's a very long decimal. And to find the fraction, we can just click here on Desmos, and that gives us 9 over 7,744, which is option A.